we notice that seniors, when they handle or when they deal with errors, they seem to deal with errors with maybe a little bit more exactness. We see that seniors can see an error message, and maybe even it's the kind of error message that you've been staring at for hours, and a senior can just walk up and be like, "Hey, at line 63 in column 20, you've got an undefined variable, or got a variable that's undefined, and that's why that property is dinging." And sure enough, you go to that line in that column, and all of a sudden there it is. They can even tell you sometimes what file name it is. How do they see that stuff in that wall of text that comes across? Of course, what I'm describing there is that, I mean, and you may be able to do this already, but they're looking at the call stack. They're looking at the stack trace. They're looking at the actual error message. I have worked with developers before who, one of the very first things that I would do with those developers while I'm pair programming with them is actually have them slow down and read to me the error message, and I'd force them to explain why that error message was happening, even if it's the easiest possible error message. If any of you have ever been in one of my pairing sessions, like one of my interview pairing sessions where we do the string calculator, then you may have seen that. You may have been a part of that, where one of our interviewers actually makes you explain why an error message is happening, which is incredibly useful. And that's actually part of what I want to go over tonight a little bit too. But yeah, I have noticed that with a lot of less experienced developers, when they see an error message, they don't take the time to slow down and really try to understand why the error message is happening in the first place. What caused it? Where was the execution flow when it failed? What was the state of the application when it failed? What could have been out of the ordinary to cause it to fail? What's the call stack say? Sometimes the exact fix is right there in the call stack, and we don't need to go in and debug and step through errors manually. We can just look at the call stack, and boom, there's the problem. So what are some of the categories of errors that you see come up often?